Well, good day all. Ira Epstein of Linn Associates with your financial market wrap-up, and this is for Thursday, the 25th of March, 2021, just after 6:40 p.m. Central Time. Now, I'm going to start doing things different in this video. Number one, it's not going to contain all the stock indices all the time. If you want that, that is going to be covered in my morning subscriber video. They'll all be there. I'm going to be covering all of the energies for you. I'll pick and choose which ones I want to do. I will bring in every now and grain or a soybean market or a soy oil. Like today, oil's down the limit. I'll talk a little bit about that. Why? Because the real meat of what I do is in my subscriber videos every morning. That is what it's about. This is the feeder into that. This is not meant to replace it, and I think some of you think that is the case. The other thing that I want to do, if you have charts you want me to cover in the financial market or in the metals, let me know. I'll drop one, put another one in. I'd like to rotate, make it a little more interesting. And eventually I'll get to the point where I do some specials for you here that are free and lead you into the other products that we have. People have asked where am I on that online Bollinger Band course that I've done. I'm finished. So it'll be next week that it comes out. The price has been determined. It'll be $75. It's about 8 to 10 chapters. Forgot myself how many I did. You get a discount to $60 for the course if you are a paid subscriber to any of my research products. Fair enough? So I think it's a nice little discount for everybody there. Okay. President Biden spoke today, his first news conference. I think he did a nice job, a very different style than President Trump. But remember, the press are his friends, not his enemy. So it would be different. He handled certain things nicely, but you know, he's a politician. He dodged the real question. We have 15,000 kids waiting to be taken into the country. Why? Why are kids 16, 18, 20? Being taken in, or maybe they should be taken in. I'm not getting into those politics, but has the problem really changed? No, he's back talking to Mexico. Will they take these people back? It sounds to me like the Trump era all over again with just a different look to it, right? You may not agree with that, but it's true. And don't get me wrong. I want young kids. I want them to find their families. That is the key, if they have family here. But you do realize they're sending them to third uncles, second uncles. I don't know what they're doing, but it's called desperation, and I get it. And if you're not a human being, you get it. It's a rough political decision. It's beyond my pay grade. Okay. So as we look at the markets, today was one of those washout days. I had been telling my traders in my subscriber video, and I had them doing it, I had been telling them to go short the past 2 days looking for a break back to key numbers. I can prove it, put it out in my writings, not worried about it. And today was a great day. Yeah, it came back and closed strong. That's not what happened to the traders if they were following what we were doing. And it all had to do with losing momentum. So as I look at the weekly area chart of closes, you can see the market is down for the week, 2 points, not even that now, 1.87, basically unchanged, right? The momentum is still up because the market, as I define it, is over the 18-week average of closes. You had this big break in the market that came roaring back today. The pattern of the trade has been bearish, so that's why I've been telling you I've been on the bear side of the market. The market had been, in this market, fighting right here at the 18-day average, okay? And the market, if you can see, didn't get to a Bollinger Band. This one just stopped right there. Very interesting. And momentum is staying down. So what had happened here is you had lost the embedded readings back in time, and we were looking for some downside. I say we, that is being my service. We've been looking for a break, and we got it. To me, this doesn't mean the market can't go lower, but you've hit some key areas. The biggest one happened right here in the Dow. And on the Dow, I was looking once you lost the embedded reading for this market to get back to wherever the 18-day average is. And you've been getting those little bounces. So I'm going, okay, do you have the guts to sell a market that everybody wants to be bullish on? And you got this action then again yesterday, as you can see. Well, as long as you don't get over that high, it looks to me like you're setting up for a challenge of that number. And this is what happened today. That's all I think the trade was worth. That doesn't mean I'm bullish. I'm not. Doesn't mean I'm bearish. I'm not. Here's what I am. You've got the swing line down. You lost an embedded reading. Momentum in the chart is still overbought since you have one of the numbers over 70 and the bias is up. The play was to break back to that line in the sand to see what the market would do. Now, I'm not covering for you the Russell today or the NASDAQ. Remember, I told you I am making changes. You'll see, though, I'm bringing on Ethereum and other things. I'm having some fun with all this. In the VIX, you have a lower low and a higher high. You still have an embedded reading. Therefore, I think the pros are selling these markets up here, saying the market's going to come back to the downside until you lose the embedded reading, which means the red line has to go over 20. We'll see if that type of trade plays out. In the 10-year note, the bonds have been dropped. Now in the 10-year, you have a lower low. This play ended, in my opinion, on the first challenge of a lower Bollinger Band. For those of you that are new and watch what I do, I always use in this particular set of videos these same indicators. In my subscriber videos, there's more on the chart, more moving averages especially. Very, very important. More tools that I use, and I show you everything. I mean, it's simple. It ties exactly in with the charting course that we have. That way the people they took the course and they go, oh, look at this every morning. I get what he's saying. Embedded reading. Now, what happens if you lose that reading? Said it to you yesterday. The odds are if you lose the embedded reading, the prices will go to the closest moving average. In this case, it's the 18-day. Look what the market did. So now what is the market? Neutral. But I think what's really going on here is the market's found a trading range of, let's call it, I'll just make these numbers somewhat up, 175 in the 10-year note down to the 150 level. What do I expect? I expect it to base in there and try to ratchet higher over time, not lower, higher over time. In the dollar index, yesterday, you made a run, got up to 92.63 against the Bollinger Band high of 92.65.70. You don't have to hit the number, but when you get that surge like that, I look for the resistance at that number. You went up and hit it today, and you closed just over it. We'll see if it stays that way. It is overbought. It has made a new high on the move. It is certainly in an uptrend, and I think what it's going to do is have these periods where it goes up like this, runs into some upper resistance, slips back in time, and allows traders to look at it that way. The other thing that could happen is you develop that embedded reading, and you haven't had one of these in a long time in the gold. Gold typically just gets dollar index typically gets overbought and then gives you a correction. Should it embed, that would be a powerful signal that could carry to the 9,400 level. But you haven't embedded. So when you haven't and you're just following the same patterns, you get to that number, you don't go, ha ha. Smart money coming out of the market at that number. June eurocurrency, higher high, lower low. You hit the Bollinger Band yesterday, you're holding it tonight. So when I say yesterday, that's, it gets so confusing. We're on Thursday. We are on Thursday, but we're already into Friday's trade. So you hit that number. Are you embedded? We cannot count the evening session, so you've got to stay with Thursday. Both numbers were under 20. Under 20? No, not on Wednesday. You're just in an oversold market. The first time you hit the Bollinger Band, I don't care how much it slides. You often, from that point, react the other way. So the fillet, as I want to call it, the best part of this cut just happened. I think the smart money is going to take some money off the table. Bitcoin, as you can see, coming down. Will we get more of a trend? Could. We're in the April now. If you're staying with the March, I think it goes off the board tomorrow, so be careful with that. You're oversold. Will you reach for the Bollinger Band, or because you're oversold, run out of the momentum? The bears are in control until you take out 57,665 with a potential target of 48,825 if the lower band is hit. And as I told you, the action has been in soybean oil of all things. You went limit up the other day. You followed through, And now 48 hours, you're going limit down. That's the most it can fall in one day. What went on here in the craziness of this trade is China let out a statement on Monday that their soybean oil reserves are at a 3-year low. We know that they're short on product. The whole world is. If you looked at the International Grain Council today, they're telling you even with normal production, the world's going to stay in an ultra-tight grain problem. More people, more money, chasing the same product. You can only produce so much unless you find additional land, and I don't want to hear that they're taking down the rainforest. That is the wrong way to find that land. But as you can see where we're at, and now down, where's the logical support? Right back at the 18-day average. Look at the momentum. It just hung traders today. I think that it was about another 150 lower in the market. You can figure out when you go in the futures market where the market might be by looking at the synthetic option plays. At one point they were a lot worse than that, but they eased off during the day. In May, WTI crude, you went back up to the upper Bollinger Band. This is all news off that Suez Canal. They haven't fixed it yet that I'm aware of. I know the big event is, will the high tide that comes in on Sunday through Monday, 18 inches, be enough if they get the ballast water out of that I think it's called Everglen or Evergreen ship. It's 430 yards long. That's 4.5 football fields, 4 1/3. Can you imagine that? And they're trying to get it out. They've got tugs in there pulling on it. They're dredging around it. We'll see. If it gets stuck beyond that, this could be a much longer event. Then it takes on a different importance on world trade. I call it right now the noise of the market. Rebob gasoline, very oversold. I'm looking longer term for a base to form in here for the spring season that we get going. We already had one part of it, and markets that have a run like that, they have to consolidate it. So when you do that, you find a number, the market magically finds it, and it goes into consolidation. Nat gas would not surprise me if it gets up to the 18-day average and runs out of momentum. It lost its embedded reading right here. Normally that's what it does. It's been a grudging move, but it looks to me like it just might happen. So I want to remind you, if you'd like to look at all the products, all the different markets that we cover, that's where you go to my website under the word research, and you read. If you're a futures trader, it's there. If you're a spider ETF trader, that's where all the meat of what I do is. These are the feeder videos. I'm Ira Epstein. You have yourselves a great day. I will see you all tomorrow. Take care.